Hey yo, what it is and what it be like. I'm Ray True Life. Welcome back to the Herfador Lounge. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the creator of Fedora Designs. Listen, we had an amazing conversation. So, enough of this. Run the intro. Let's get to the video. What's going on? Welcome back to the Herfador Lounge. I'm Ray True Life, your host. We're going to smoke, sip, and fellowship as always. My guest in this episode is Ilona, the creator and designer and owner of Fedora Designs. And you can see the designs behind her if you follow me and you saw that fire green hat that I was wearing. She designed that. So we're gonna get into all of that. So if you don't already follow Fedora Designs, please follow Fedora Designs and get you a hat. Get you a hat. Look at that. Look at that. So first of all, I want to talk about your journey into the world of cigars. So how did you get started in cigars?
Oh, with cigars? So with cigars, my dad actually introduced me to my first cigar when I was 19.
Right.
And he was never a big smoker or anything, but he had some friends that brought him cigars and, hey, you want this? And I was like, sure. So at 19, I would do almost like one cigar a year.
Okay.
And in about 2014, 2015 is when I kind of went deep dive into cigars. I moved to Atlanta in 2015 and I was working across, what's that place? Highland Cigar.
Okay.
And so I would go there after work, have a cigar, just chill out. And that became from once a year initially to like 4 or 5 times a week.
Wow.
And what's funny is that the cigars I started smoking are Padrones.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So you didn't take baby steps. You jumped right into it. There was no flavored first. You just jumped right on into it.
Yep.
So going from one cigar a year to a few cigars a week, what was that journey like? What made you decide to start smoking cigars more?
I started to feel I've never felt I've always felt like an outsider in a lot of places, right? Growing up, high school, like every phase of life, I never felt like I really fit in. And the cigar industry and the cigar bars and the cigar lounges really gave me that place where I finally felt like I fit in with people.
Right.
And so that really became my safe place. And, forming friendships, being, having great conversations. And so that, to me, that was the done deal.
Right. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. The conversations and camaraderie and all of that helps them to stay true to it, So what was it that intrigued you about cigars?
I've never been a big drinker at all. And so I really think that cigars it forces you to slow down. It forces you to be in the moment. It forces you to sit there for about an hour at least.
Yeah.
And so I guess once again, it felt like, oh, I found home, right? And it forced me I never understood the concept of people coming home from work to have a drink because they're so stressed out. That was
right.
I'm not doing that. But I get it now that I do that with cigars. And so that was just my safe haven. And so everything in my life surrounds cigars pretty much.
Yeah, because I see you at so many different cigar events. And cigars, like you say, that's one of the reasons I really love them, is because it does force you to slow down.
Yeah.
I'd say it all the time. You can be as angry as you want when you get to the cigar shop or you get to your humidor. You can even be angry when you grab the cigar. But once you start pulling it out that cellophane, you have to slow down. Because if not, of course, you're going to wreck it. You're going to tear it up. You're not going to cut it properly and you won't enjoy it. But it's going to force you to slow down and enjoy it. So Fedora Designs, what is it that intrigued you so much about fedoras?
Same thing. So I've always been a hat wearer, like baseball caps, newsboy caps, fedoras, everything like that. And so I'm from New York, so I was living in New York. And in 2019, I stumbled upon a store that had like pins and feathers and stuff like that. And they had hats. So they had somebody like, oh, let me put something together. And so I was like, yeah, that's fine. Just put something together. And I've always been creative, and I never found what my outlet was. And
Right.
so this guy put this hat together, and I was like, yeah, it's a little too masculine looking. I was like, can I just try it out myself? And it came naturally to me. And I did another hat, and then this lady was like, hey, can you do mine too? Because I really like how yours came out. And so I went home that day and I was like, you know what? Let me just redesign all my hats and make them into something, because they were all plain.
Right.
I wasn't even privy to the custom fedora world at all.
Wow.
I was just in my bubble. And I just went full force. And so I was living in Harlem at the time. So, I'm walking around in Harlem, I'm going to work, I'm going on the subway, coworkers, stuff like that. Everybody would stop me and comment on my hats. And then, friends would want some. So I started doing it for them. But what's crazy is I always said, I'm never going to be an entrepreneur. I'm just going to move up in the corporate world.
Right.
And that's too stressful, to be responsible and to have like your own thing. And when COVID hit, and I was living in Atlanta like 5-6 years ago, right? And then I went back up to New York. COVID hit. My friend goes, hey, just come stay with me for the summer. So I was like, all right, cool. So, bring all my stuff, bring all my hats. I go to all, the cigar spots, and everybody was like, yo, I really like your hats. And so it kind of forced me to make it into an official business. And so I made it official in August 2020. I got roped into Atlanta Cigar Week. That was like my first vending experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that was amazing. A lot of people that, not only for a business, but it was a lot of people that I know to this day that are on this live, that are watching it, that I connected through with that Cigar Week.
Right.
And so from that point on, it just started to roll, and it became a thing,
Yeah, I'm glad you got roped into it, huh?
Yeah.
I know you're glad you got roped into it.
Right. Those where I accidentally walked into something and found my passion through that.
Right. That's amazing. That's amazing. And sometimes if you might not know what your passion is, and you just happen to stumble across it, and then now you have an outlet for your creativity, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
What inspires your designs?
Oh man. So I get asked that question all the time. What's crazy is I could look at somebody and get inspired. Like I could look at, I got inspired one time by this one like mirror dress. And I was like, you know what? I want to make a hat based off that. I get inspired. I could be walking outside. I could be at a cigar bar. I could be in my car. I could be listening to something. Like literally everything inspires me. My mind is always going. So there really is not one specific thing. And I really try to do things that there's a lot of these hat designers out now and stuff.
Right.
And I really look up to like the really, the top of the top hat designers. And I really try to stay away from copying, designs and things like that. I always wanted to like pave my own way. I always wanted to do something where I'm the trendsetter.
Right.
And it seems to, and I'm seeing how that's becoming a thing now.
Yeah, yeah.
And I had to get over it, right? Because when you create something that's new, then other people will jump on that. But yeah, so everything inspires me.
And when you're creating something that's good, people are gonna say, "I want a piece of that." They're gonna try. They're gonna try. They can try to do. They can try to imitate, but they can't duplicate. So just let them try. Let them try. They be all right. Because Anthony Hamilton ain't wearing their hats. I'm just saying. I had to throw that out there. I had to throw that out there. well. How was that encounter?
So you know what? I've never actually, me physically, I'd never met him. It was my marketing manager.
Still great.
Yeah, that she was at a concert. She had some type of tickets, backstage pass or something like that. He commented on her hat saying, "Hey, I want your hat," but it was too big. And so she put all of us in a group chat. So I have his number, his personal number. So that's the only, I've never actually met that man.
Well, he was walking around on Instagram saying Fedora Designs, so that had to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I really try not to. I think with anything that we do in life, and especially for me, that there's no top, right? Like there's no point of end. People have said like, oh, Anthony Hamilton or this person or that person. I was like, yeah, that's cool, but there's more, right? And then there's more. So
yeah, you just got to keep going and keep climbing, and if you put a ceiling on it, then you're going to reach the ceiling, and then you're going to wonder why you're stuck. Yeah. So you were making fedoras, and people were asking you for your fedoras and asking you about your fedoras. So you decided to make it a business. So what was the, okay, this is what I need to be doing moment?
You said what was the moment that?
What was the moment with all of the attention that you were getting for your hats and people asking you about the hats? What was the moment that you said, okay, this is like when you found your passion? What was that moment?
It was even before people started commenting on it. It was when I started to do my own hats, and I love fashion. I love dressing up. I love playing with fashion, and so me designing my own, and you could call it cocky. I don't know what you want to call it, right? But to me, I believe in it so much that it doesn't. I don't even need the what's the word I'm looking for? The
accolades.
Huh?
The accolades.
Right. I don't even need to hear it because I already know. I know it's dope.
That's not cocky. That's confident.
Right. Right. And I never want it to come off as, someone complimenting me on something and me saying like, yeah, I know. Right. But I know it's dope. I wear it all the time. And I'm somebody, no, this doesn't look good. Let's switch it up to this, right? Or no, that doesn't. Because I truly want, not only do I want the best for me, but I really, really, really love to see others in their best, thriving, having confidence. And so, a fun fact. So 50% of my clientele has bought their first fedora hat from me.
Like the first that they've ever owned.
They have. Wait, Damon is.
yeah. Don't let her confidence offend your insecurities. That came from Deion Sanders, and we've been throwing that around social media after that. That's definitely something that you got to do. But that's an amazing fact that 50% of your clientele is people who have never owned a fedora, never worn a fedora, and they're coming to buy one.
Yep. And then they go deep diving into it. but the best thing I ever hear is when people come to me and say, man, I got stopped so many times. I got compliments. I got numbers. I felt so good. I was the center of attention. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's about.
Right.
Right. That's what it's about, is like instilling certain qualities that maybe you have or you don't have, but putting it out there to be like, yeah, I look good. Because when you look good, you feel good.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. So I want to talk a little bit about design and dine.
Mm-hmm.
So see, I did a little bit of research, a little bit, not a whole lot.
Put it all the way back.
So what was design and dine?
So that was an idea I had during COVID. So sorry, I was reading the comments. So during COVID, you know, and being in Atlanta, I remember, you know, we were limited. We were open here in Atlanta, but it was limited, like experiences or places. And so, you know, my hat business was thriving, and I was like, you know what? I want to create something that's different, that's never been done, and create your own Fedora, me, right? I would get a chef. I had a liquor sponsor, cigar sponsor, rented out a place. And the first one I did was December 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you know, we had to wear outside, like, you know, things were mandatory like that. And it was a pretty big success. And I've done, I want to say 2 or 3 from that. It was really, really difficult finding a name.
That's an amazing name right there.
You like that?
I like that, design and dine, because that's what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah. So it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever been to the paint and sip.
Yeah.
So it's like the same concept.
Except you're designing a fedora and you're eating.
Right. And
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Do you do well, I see you've done, but are you continuing to do live designs?
Like in front of an audience?
Yeah.
What you mean live designs?
Live designs where you sit down and design hats in front of people.
I haven't done that. I mean, I've done that at those design and dine things, right? But it's more so like you're picking out feathers, accessories, this, that, whatever, right?
Okay. Okay.
Or you could give it to me and then I'll do it. That's the extent of what
right. Okay.
Yeah, so live, I mean, maybe in the future. You know, once I get Anthony Hamilton status.
Well, I mean, you're right there anyway. You're right there anyway. So, and then he can sing while you do it. So.
You don't want to hear me sing.
So let's talk about how people can order your designs.
So my website, fedoradesigns.com. So I do have ready-made, like all of these ready-made fedoras. But I also have a custom design form. So people usually fill it out. They put their size, description of what they want, and then I go back and forth with them. Or you could DM me if that's easier. You know, we go back and forth in terms of, you know, finding like what you really want. So that's the 2. I'm on Facebook too, Fedora Designs, but the 2 main channels, you know, the best to reach me would be the custom design form on my website, or just DM this page.
So you heard it. The custom design form on the website, or DM the page. Get you a Fedora design hat. You're not going to be disappointed. Trust me. So I see that you're everywhere. We spoke about that. You're at all of these events and all of these cigar weeks, and you're doing all of these things and design and dine. So how important is that to you in building your business to be in those different rooms?
I think that's probably one of the top, like one of the first things, you know, is marketing yourself. I always have a hat on. That's pretty much how I got to this point, because I always rock my own hats. It's making connections, it's making friendships, it's establishing relationships you know, then it's word of mouth, and it just keeps going. And I think that when you present yourself, you know, because I come from the corporate world, where, you know, since 19 years old, I've been in the corporate world. And so to me, I approach things from a very professional standpoint. And I've heard from people like, man, you know, I really love the way you move. You're very professional, you're this, you're that. And so that really opened the doors for me also. Because to me is, you know, I kind of took that into my own business of like, hey, you know, you want to be taken serious, like you have to behave a certain way. You can't, you know, and I'm not a drinker, right? So I'm usually the only sober person in the room. But that plays a lot because people are watching, right? And, you know, and we've been in, you know, in places where like we see someone, you know, sloppy, or we see someone, you know, in a negative light. And then all of a sudden, if that's my first impression of you, that's it. Right?
Right.
So to me, what's important is always coming with the first impression where people are like, oh man, I really fuck with her.
Yeah.
Or, oh man, I really like how, you know, if she put that together, she could do that for me too.
Right.
And just being genuine, you know, what you are and how you are is really what attracts back to you. So, I think that's like the three, and obviously, you know, self marketing, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's really.
We about to get into the meaty questions, but I got to do a wardrobe change real quick. So.
Yes.
So I saw him talking about it, so I had to get it and put it on. So what sacrifices have you had to make in pursuit of starting, building, and growing your brand?
Oh shit. Money would be, you know, everything. I'm self-funded. Never got, you know, money from anyone. No grants, no loans, like really nothing. And so I still actually have my corporate job, my day job. And so I really utilize that to pour back into the business. And then everything that I make within the business, I pour into it. So sacrifices, I would say like probably about 100K that I put, you know what I mean? Like into the business really. And you know, a lot of people think, you know, when they want to jump on the bandwagon of someone or someone doing it, it's like, you don't understand what happens behind the scenes. Right. You me as, man, you know, I'm always a positive light and, you know, but yeah, I mean, you know, I have debt. You know, everything, I understand that everything is a you know, progression in life. Everything is a journey. And I'm just like, let's go. And I just maintain faith.
Right.
Like my highest power, you know, is having faith that yes, I'm going to get to that point. And then I'm going to exceed that point. Right.
Exactly.
So, you know, and then sacrifices is also not allowing certain people to be in my inner space. Right. And so I'm human though. And that has been a thing, right? Where like negativity or people bringing me down or people trying to dim my light or certain relationships. And it's this year that has been the eye-opening year for me where, you know what, I have to protect me. And if that means I'm on my own island, which is how, you know, and I talk about this all the time, is I always felt like because of I never felt like I really fit in anywhere. Right? And so if I have to be on my own island, I'm cool with it. I'm used to it. So it's either you bring your light and you bring your value and I bring my value and, you know, you're fine, right? Be in my space. If not, it's at this point, it's an automatic, I don't want to be around you. I'm not going to fuck with you.
Right.
And so, you know, protecting my space is important, especially in the area that I'm in, you know, in the building phase. A lot of people understand it, and then a lot of people don't understand it. And it's okay. Listen, and I have no problem with it. I have no problem losing friendships over it. I have no problem losing relationships over it. So
yeah. I mean, if you're losing friendships or relationships, I'll put those in quotes, friendships or relationships. I mean, because then they weren't there for you in the beginning to begin with. Because if they should understand, you know, you're building something, they come into your space, they should be there to help and support you, not take away from it. You know. So, hey, everybody can't ride the bus. You're either on the bus or you're getting rolled over. So
short bus. So no.
Was there ever a time that you wanted to quit?
No.
Good answer. So next one is so what obstacles did you have to face when getting started? And how did you overcome those obstacles?
That's a good one. I think it's pouring more into it than what's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I travel a lot. I go to all the different, you know, cities, cigar weeks I get invited into. But whether people realize it or not, it's a lot that goes out for that, right? Travel expenses and shipping expenses and all that type of stuff. So I'm still in that type of space, right? Where like the sacrifices is, yeah, I gotta keep putting up my own money to make things happen, to at some point cross that path of like, oh shit, now something big, right? Has come.
Right.
So I feel like I'm still in that building phase.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, you know, the obstacle would be the debt accumulated from it. But once again, I believe in the power of the subconscious mind, and I believe in, you know, putting positive thoughts and in actions and stuff like that, and prayer. And so that's the path that I go on.
Yeah, you gotta speak positivity and into yourself, because if you're not, then you are the only thing that's standing in your way. You know, if you're sitting here and saying what you can't do, if you say you can't do something, you're right, you can't do it. But then if you say you can do something, you're also right. So you got to speak that positivity into yourself. And a lot of people like to say what they can't do, you know, not understanding that you've automatically already lost when you do that.
Yeah.
You know, so like how do you go about being so positive?
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I read a lot of books, and I do Audible. I'm particular in terms of podcasts, right? Because there's a lot of bullshit and fluff that's out there. So I go through different phases. You know, right now I got Power of the Subconscious Mind that's on my Audible. I'm reading about 2 different books. What I need to do is like focus on one, finish it, and then start another. And so, man, you know what? It's funny because I think people look at me and assume something, but I've had quite a journey in life and quite a past, and you know, low points and high points and stuff like that. And it's just always been built within me of really seeing the silver lining in everything.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what it is that sparked it, but I've always, you know, I think back to my teenage years and who I was around, and, you know, growing up in Brooklyn. And I'm like, man, like I could give you about 20 situations where I could have been locked up, in jail, dead, you know, just the craziest things. And so I think it's really, again, it goes back to faith and God. And so I've always looked towards that as like, I'm protected, and I believe it, and I have angels around me. And it's just that's just it's almost like it's built within me, and I have no answer of why I'm even so positive. It pisses some people off. Like, man, why you always bother you? I said, no. He did what? That don't bother you? No. I'm gonna just get up and keep it moving. Because if you're not for me, you're not for me.
Yeah, and if you're not moving forward, then you're moving backwards. Ain't no standing still. You're moving backwards.
Right.
You know, especially in starting a business. If you're not moving forward, then you're definitely going backwards, and that ain't what you want to do, because that's kind of counterproductive to building a business, right?
Yeah. And so there was one podcast I was listening to, and he said, my true measure of my growth is like towards the end of, you know how people do resolutions, like when New Year's comes around. And so he said, he was like, I look at the person I was January 1st, and I look at the person I am December 31st, and I have to look back and say, did I change? Did I evolve? Did I grow? If I did, that's a successful year.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that, man, I do that too, but I really, really, really started to put that into practice.
Right.
And so I'm just like, man, yeah, resolutions, okay, cool. People that do it, okay, cool. But the real measure is think back to how you were a year ago and how you are now, and are you even an inch better than you were? Right.
Because you thing that I try to do is be better than I was yesterday.
Right.
Whatever I was yesterday, I just want to be better than that. And if you focus on that, if you try to be just better than you were yesterday, then by the end of the year, you're going to be at least 365 days worth of being better.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of people don't do, is try to just be better. Some people feel like you said, they get to a point where they've made it, like we spoke about that ceiling. Once you get to that ceiling, if you put a ceiling on it, that's all you're going to do. And once you get there, why are you not growing? Because this is as far as you said that you can go.
Mm-hmm.
You got to say that you can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can do everything. I can do anything, and go do it. That's all you got to do.
Exactly.
Just go do it. So
if pisses people off, is because they've chosen misery. You have chosen solutions and home.
Definitely. Yep. You can't choose misery. You can't. So what's been the best part of your journey?
You know what? The friendships I've acquired. That has really been like the light of my existence, because I really, really, really like people that really know me, and I see them every week and stuff, like I love the friendships and the associates and the relationships and the conversations that I have with people. It's almost like it gives me fuel.
Yeah.
And I think that has been for me like the cherry on top of everything.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because relationships and friendships, true relationships, not the quote relationships or friendships, but true relationships and friendships last lifetimes. They last lifetimes, and they push you to be better.
Mm-hmm.
They push you to be better, and and as they're pushing you, you push them, so y'all all grow together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't leave anyone behind, and they understand that you're building something, and when you're building, they're building, so you're all pushing each other. You all grow together, and that's an amazing thing, to have people around you that grow with you. So let's jump back a little bit to your hats, to these fedoras. So your custom designs, how do you determine what you got? Like if I wanted a custom fedora, and I went on the website and I did the custom order form, like what's that process like?
So people do it a couple different ways. Some have, let's say, like, they like this one, right? And they'll say, hey, I want this size, design that, do your thing, right? Recent one I got was, I was like, either like, tell me about yourself, personality, like, what is it that you want? So he was like, I like the rustic kind of look. He sent me a picture of this one hat he liked. He was a Raiders fan. He liked skulls and bones. And so I kind of I'll put a vision board together and be like, yes or no. And then with each, as I design it, like as I go, through the progress, then I'll send pictures and be like, you tell me yes or no. So like right in front of me right now, I just want to show you this one. So this was a custom hat, right? So this is the guy's logo, and it's a double-sided phoenix. And he wanted something that's like rising from the ashes. The key, I forgot what, I just added the key today. It was just one of those where he wanted something to represent his journey in life and what his brand represented. And so I try to make it so that the hat really reflects your story, if that's the route you want to take. Doesn't have to be like that, right? Some people can be like, hey, I want a cigar holder and this color feather, and that's cool, right? Some people want like something more. So, either you want, everything is a piece of art.
Right.
So, really it's really, really, really up to the person.
So when Chevalier orders his hat, do not put that face on the hat. Don't put his face on the hat. You can put Chevalier on it, but don't put that little face that's on them shirts on the hat, because right. Damon ain't gonna let him live it down.
I remember seeing it. I was like, okay, we're a little narcissistic, huh?
little bit. He says it's not him, but it's definitely him. So what's next for Fedora Designs?
So, am I going to reveal everything?
You don't have to reveal everything, but we do like exclusives here.
So, I would say I build something out, because my house is out of space now. Right? I do everything out of my house. I want to build out a space, maybe in my backyard. I'm kind of still trying to figure out, where and how and what, to do the actual hats completely from scratch. So right now I have a person that I work with, and I say, hey, I want this size, this shape. But I want to like almost like elevate the experience and also build my own hats. So that's something that's on my board that I'm.
Well, it's definitely gonna happen, because that'd be amazing. It'd be amazing, but to see the process, from start to finish, like of your custom hat being made, that would be amazing. What advice would you give to anyone who is starting or thinking about starting a business?
Definitely do something that is passion. What's big, talking to a lot, knowing and having friends, those that are business owners and have, all different types of businesses. We see a lot of like copycat. We see, trading stocks and amazing at it. And now, other people want to do it.
Right.
Follow that trend. Instead of following a trend, follow what really truly speaks to you and what you are naturally good at. And sometimes we don't figure out what we're naturally good at unless we just try out a whole bunch of shit, right? And for some people, you don't even need to start any type of business. If you're, I don't think there's anything wrong with like working corporate or working, a job or anything like that. So unless you have something where like you're really, really, really passionate about and you believe in it, that's what's going to take you over that edge versus, oh, she's doing this, let me do this too. Or he's doing this, let me do it too. That's why so many people fall off after some time.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've seen plenty copycats, and sometimes the copycats just outright with it. Yeah, and I mean, what? What? Okay, okay. You'll be gone soon. You'll be gone soon, and that's okay. You know. So yeah, that copycat thing, it's like stealing to me, and I can't stand a thief. You're stealing an idea. It's not like, okay, I'm going to make a cigar. You have cigars. I sell cigars. You sell shirts. I sell shirts. That's completely different. But if I come up with something completely from scratch, I come up with something and I do something, and then you go and try to do the exact same thing that I just did, that I created. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. However, they can't copy your designs because, they're different. They might.
I have some.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have seen some. And it could be like maybe like a variation of some. I have seen some where like I literally came up with the idea, as far as I know, right? And then I kind of, oh wow, okay. I see.
That look familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you handle those situations?
Man, listen, I would tell my friends or closer or a few people, and they would have to calm me down.
Wow.
Because I'm from Belarus, which is like Eastern Europe, so Russian speaking, right? So I say Russian. So it's almost like my inner Russian comes out. Or if I come out,
Woo.
like, you know what? it's not even because that's just life, right? You in a happy marriage, all of a sudden everybody wants this happy marriage, right? You in a prospering something, everybody wants it. You found this nice house, everybody wants it. Cool. You just have to, you know what? I think the true power is in silence.
Yeah, just let them fall off.
Yep.
Just let them fall off, because it's definitely going to happen. They're not gonna last. People can see that. It might be some people that are like, oh, this is amazing. How'd you come up with this idea? And then when you sit there and tell the lie of how you came up with the idea, because you're not going to say, well, I saw them do it, and I said I can do that too. So I decided to do the exact same thing. People are going to read into that and say, okay, I'm not going to deal with you no more. I'm going to move on I'm going to go to the original.
Yeah.
So they'll definitely follow.
And you know what, at the end of the day, because how my mind is, and because there's not one thing that inspires me, right? My mind is always working on next. So cool. You could copy the idea that I had 5 ideas ago, but you're going to be in a constant hamster wheel of trying to.
That's old news.
Yeah.
I did that already.
Uh-huh. Damn, that was 5 seasons ago.
Oh, you got a lot of catching up to do. Keep chasing. You ain't gonna catch me, but keep chasing.
Yeah.
So what are 2 of your most important principles
in life?
In life or business, you choose. But what are 2 of your most important principles?
So one is respect. And 2 is, I have to pick one. Respect and what's the word? That's it. I'm big on respect. I'm almost like, I'm big on respect to a fault, because sometimes like I'll give respect when it's not even warranted to give, you know, when like you give respect to certain people and then they take that and, you know, throw it in the trash, right? But I always operate from that high level. And so I had to learn. And authenticity, like I operate from like, what you see is what you get. I don't, and I don't know if you want to call it like the New York in me, you know.
We can call it that.
Okay. I just always real, you know, and maybe I'll say something that could maybe kind of sort of hurt somebody's feelings, but it's because I really want the best for people. And I expect the same back, right? Hurt my feelings. Tell me. I can handle it. I can dish it. I can take it. And I think with authenticity, though, people see it. And I think that's why I've attracted such a great circle of friends in my life. It's because like I really say that each one of them is like so authentic and raw and just amazing in their own way. And so I think, and people can see it.
Yeah.
We could peep it. Like we could peep the scammers and the fugazi, or whatever you want to call it.
That's a New York word.
He said that's so Brooklyn. No, and I think people forget about it. Like I think look at Instagram as, and I talk about this all the time too. Like we look at Instagram as like, you know, this highlight reel, and you think people have their shit together. And I know a lot of these people, right, that to the outside world, you think they have their shit together, but it's so opposite. You know, and it could be people with like hundreds of thousands of followers, right, but not a penny in the bank. Or it could be, you know, anything, right? Like someone that's so positive, or someone that speaks on relationships and love and is the complete opposite. And so we can't look at social media or the perception of something and take that at will, because there's so many levels to it. And people take that perception and they say, man, but you know, I'm not good enough, or I'm not like that, or you know, she has this bag and that bag and these shoes and that shoes, man, I need to keep up. Okay, well you can
go
try
ahead.
you up, but at the end of the day, you about
exactly. You're gonna be you, and people gonna see that ain't you, or you'll go broke and lose everything you have trying to get what somebody else has,
right,
which is stupid, because you don't know what they did to get what they got.
right.
You know, they could have,
if they even got it.
right. They could have been in the store taking pictures. Hide the price tag, turn it around, get the other side.
Listen, Atlanta is funny, right? Because I'm always sitting back and observing everything, and I'll see someone go next to a car and pose as if it's their own, and then post it on Instagram. Yeah, and just go all in with that. Yes, people do that all the time. People rent. It was something during Atlanta Cigar Week. They formed this event space, and so in the event space is where these influencers go in and take pictures. So one is like a private jet, so you could pretend that you're in a private jet. Yes. So, and that is why I said authenticity, right? Because all you have to do is just be you.
Right.
That's it. There's nothing else. You don't need to talk. You don't need to, put on the brand show. No, you're going to impress people by being you.
Exactly.
And by becoming a better person, right? If
right.
it was a shitty person, then okay, you
you can't continue to be the shitty person. Because people are going to see that as well, you know, regardless of how you try to hide it. People are going to see you're a shitty person, and you got to stop that. You definitely got to stop that. You know. So there was a question, and it was, what is your turnaround time?
I would say anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
right? It could be, or I would say, let's say 1 to 3 weeks, depending on like how intricate the design
Right.
is. So 1 to 3 weeks.
Okay, 1 to 3 weeks. So y'all place your orders now, and you'll have them. Go ahead and place the orders. Flood with the orders, so that way, you know, when she says, "Well, it's been 5 weeks," that's because I got so many. So do what you got to do. Um, uh, so you also have hats that you've already done that are for sale, right?
Yes. So if you want to see.
Oh wow, the whole wall. Oh wow. Okay. Oh, there's more.
So I may or may not planning for next week to do this is an exclusive too, because I may or may not do a virtual pop-up shop.
A virtual pop-up shop.
A virtual pop-up shop, yep.
What's that?
Where you can, I may go on I'm trying to mull over the details, but I may do like an Instagram live pop-up shop, and you guys can, you know, especially for my people that are like out of state, because I do have a lot of clients that are out of state. So giving you guys an opportunity to really experience, you know, seeing the designs and purchasing it before somebody else does.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I don't think that, well, I don't follow a whole bunch of, well, I do follow a lot of people that sell things, but I've never seen that before. So that's a dope idea.
Yeah.
That's a dope idea. I might have to mute that when I put it on YouTube so nobody don't steal it.
Someone
Oh,
said,
look,
this one?
already. Well, go and place your order.
Yep.
Definitely tag us when you do it.
That is on my website. So under Ready Fedoras, you'll find that one.
Cool. Go get it.
Size
Go and get it. So how do you, when you sizing for a hat, how do you do that?
Like if you're in front.
Or if I wanted to order one, I know what size I need.
So if you have a tape measure, I'm trying to see if mine is in the room. So what you want to do, or you can do it with like a piece of string. So let's say I have a piece of string. So what you want to do is you want to place it around your head where the hat is kind of going to land. So it's typically like right here. Okay. So when you take it out, you want to put it next to a tape measure, and it'll tell you, and it could be centimeters or inches, doesn't matter. I can convert both. One way. Another way is if you guys wear, men and women, right? If you guys, like for example, I wear 7 3/8. It is in hats. I could convert that. And if you don't have a tape measure at home, you could always just you could either go to like a dry cleaners, a tailor, or a hat shop, you know, or you could do like lids and just have them measure you. So that's a couple ways to get measured.
Cool. RS, the lifestyle, sir. I know that. I'm asking for the purposes of the podcast. You do know that this is a podcast, sir. So I'm asking for the purposes of the podcast. Don't need you to put tape measure, bro. I know that. But I'm just saying, I'm putting that out. People got to say that. People got to see it. So I'm putting that out there. So Ilona, I want to thank you for accepting my invitation. This was an amazing conversation. Great hat right here. You see what I got on?
Yes.
You see what I got on?
Yes.
I bought this at Texas Cigar Week in Austin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Austin. So, y'all like this hat? Go and get you one.
Yeah.
I like this. You can't get this one, but there's another one.
How many compliments on that?
A bunch. On Facebook, Instagram, walking around. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I love it. So,
well, having me, it was an amazing talk. I love stuff like this. I don't do this often, but when I do, at least on Instagram Live. Excellent questions.
Thank you. RS, I'm gonna kick you out of here. So
Got 3. I think I was the first for him too last year.
He got a big ass head, so it's amazing that you was able to get a hat to fit that.
No, he got a hat.
They be sitting on top like Adabisi. He wear his hats like this. He was out at Texas Cigar Week with his hat like this, and his head to the side, so it was straight.
He said he's gonna come on to the lounge. What lounge?
The lounge is what me and Chevalier do on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.
Okay.
On Instagram Live.
Okay.
And I'm anxious to see your QVC style virtual pop up. that'll be cool.
Yes,
that'll be cool.
Maybe I'll have a few models.
Hey. Ideas.
Yep.
Ideas.
I like that.
Well, I thank you so much for accepting. Helicopter. I thank you so much for accepting my invitation and being on the show. It was an amazing conversation. FedoraDesigns.com, right?
Yep.
And Fedora Designs on Instagram and on Facebook. So go follow, get you a fedora, and rock your fedora and get your compliments and enjoy it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much again, and you have a great night.
You too.